All right. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. How's everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody had a good weekend. I can't believe it's already Sunday. Freaking time is flying by. Uh, I just got a phone call. The bees will be in tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. So I can go pick up my bees whenever I want to. So that should be interesting. Uh, kind of like I said, I am excited about it. I am excited about it. I'm ready to get this going. See how this project goes on. But okay, um, before we get started here, I just want to remind everybody that this is a very family friendly oriented channel. I would ask you all to please be decent in the chat. No racism, no nastiness. If you cannot abide by those very simple, easy rules, those awesome people lit up in blue with the blue wrenches are going to boot you out of here because we're not going to have it. All right, but yeah, so today was not a bad day. Actually, the sun ended up coming out, and I'm looking at the forecast. So tonight, actually, they've changed it now. It's only supposed to go down to 37 tonight here. Tomorrow night, they're calling for it to go down to, what did they say? Um, they said 33 or 32. So I don't think tonight I'm going to cover the tomato plants. I think they should be okay. Going down to 37. It's not obviously going down to freezing, but I'm thinking that tomorrow night will be the night. Because last night we got down to about 41. So it wasn't bad at all as far as that goes. So and tomato plants were fine today. I was looking at them, making sure they're good. So and once we get through tonight and tomorrow, then the overnight temperatures are not going to be down in the 30s again. So we'll have to see how that all plays out. But it got down to 27 here in Missouri this morning. Yeah, that's definitely below freezing. So I'm hoping these tomato plants are going to make it. That would be very cool if they do. Probably the earliest I've ever planted anything in my life. Especially being from New York. In New York, you take a chance with planting the second week of May that there might still be a frost. So, but I was going to today. I was going to get the grapes in and the raspberries in, but I've decided to wait one more. Like through tomorrow. Get through tomorrow. And then once it's going to be warmer, I don't want them to have the shock of being transplanted and then have a really cold night on top of it. So I'm hoping that probably on Tuesday is when I'll plant those the raspberry bushes and the grape plants. So hey, Sandy. So that's the game plan with that. Just kind of puts things on hold when you want to. You guys, you have no idea how badly I'm like chomping at the bit to you know, get things going that way. But it's going to be what it's going to be, and but I am excited. I'm looking forward to moving forward, getting things started, getting things going. When everybody comes next month, we'll be getting some trees in the ground and that type of thing as well. And so, like I said, just overall, pretty excited about everything and the direction that we're going in. Hopefully, the game plan now for the next get together is get that, the rest of the trusses up and, get that the metal on the roof of the pavilion. And then we got to kind of go from there. So, you know, uh, I don't know what they're saying there, but I ran a heat lamp out to my greenhouse. Nothing wrong with that. You do what you got to do. You know what I mean? I'm not going to do another dome greenhouse. No, what we're going to do is a high tunnel greenhouse. Because here's the issue with the greenhouse in New York. Okay, and I'll tell you what the only issue with the green. It's a great greenhouse. Love that greenhouse in New York. It needs vents on the top so that when you get into the summer months when it's really super warm, that you can open up those vents and let that hot air get out of there. So, but that other than that, it's it's a good greenhouse to be up there. I would love to have that greenhouse down here, but we're going to go with a different route for the greenhouses down here, and we're going to see how that all pans out and how that all goes. It should be fun. You know what I mean? So Freehawk says you can finish your trusses with only two men. Okay, who's lifting them up there, Freehawk? Who's the two men that are going to hold them into place while they're being lifted up there? You know, I mean, it's not realistic, realistically. you know. And and let me remind you, I am not a carpenter, so it would have to be one of the guys that knows what they're what they're doing to be the other person. But yeah, you need to have. I mean, we were doing what 4 or 5 people, to get them up there. So, but that's we'll get it done. Like I said, it's just along with everything else, it's going to take time. It'll get done, and guess what? Once it's up, then it's up. And that'll be the end of that. So, look at like I said, I just methodical, 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 and we'll get them up. We'll get the metal on there, and then once the metal's on there, we could actually utilize that, even if it's muddy or raining or whatever the case may be, because we could be under it. So we'll have to just we're gonna play it by ear. I have no idea what the weather's gonna be next month, and we're gonna go from there. But there'll be a little bit of this, a little bit of that going on, and overall, we're making good progress. I'm not unhappy with the progress that we're making. You know, yeah, Mac, that's too funny. But no, it's like I said, we're in. You watch this year, you watch the progress that we make. We have a good amount of people, and everybody's working together, and that's part of the key of everything. So slow and steady is going to win the race. But yeah, we're gonna get there. All right. So I wanted to talk about getting into topic. Right? Imagine that. What do we got? 330 in the chat. We're at 105. Um, let the beard grow out in the side gig Santa for next holiday. Hey, don't even talk about like that. That's not very nice. I don't want to be as big as Santa Claus. I mean, I'm a big dude, but I'm not quite that size. I hope anyway. But anyway, we only got 113 thumbs up. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. I thank you ahead of time for that. It really does make a huge difference with the algorithms. So I thank you for that reason as well. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. So somebody says, how's mom doing? Mom is doing well. Heather's good. Becky's good. Jeannie's good. Everybody's good up there. So, Becky's planning, I think, getting married next year, I think, is their game plan. And happy for her. He's a good man. He treats her well, and that's all I could ask for. Heather has a boyfriend now, and I have not met him yet. I will at some point. So we will see how that goes. So I keep telling her, I hear things, of course, and I said, well, I'm going to reserve my judgment when I meet him. I'm not going to make a preconceived judgment. So, Ed, when are you going back to New York again to get your bike and Soxy? I am not 100% sure yet, Billy the Kid Norwood. I'm thinking that I may not bring Soxy down yet because I'm in this camper and it's me and Hella in the camper, and trying to figure out where I'm going to put a cat litter box where Hella's not going to get into it, and that type of thing. And it might not be feasible to do that right now. So I may not be bringing. I'd love to bring her down, but I just the reality is, for me and Hella, it's more than enough room for just the two of us. Not like she's a little bitty dog, but so right now I'm gonna probably hold off on bringing her down when I do go up to New York. But when I do go to New York, I will absolutely be bringing my bike down. My bike is coming down. So yeah, well, we don't call that cat poop. What we call those They are candy coated cat treats or dog treats, is what they are. That's when the dog gets into the litter box. It's candy coated. Oh, well, cat snacks, candy coated cat snacks. That's what we like to call them, and the dogs seem to really like them, and so they like to yeah, Tootsie Rolls, but they are candy covered cat snacks. Yeah, so I would rather not have her, doing that. Yes, yes, I do use those, Sean. Yep, for the garden. I will not use, you know, chemically engineered seeds. I want seeds that when I can plant, I can get the seeds and harvest them, again and do it that way. Cat presents, yeah, that's exactly what they are. But yeah, and then the dog comes up and licks your face. Of course, of course. But yeah, it's uh, they're freeloaders for supplies. Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, dogs are they're interesting. Dogs are interesting. Good company though. I like I said, so Caesar and Pandora. I don't know if I told you guys this. They just celebrated their fifth birthday, which I'm like, holy crap, where did 5 years go? But yeah, they just had their fifth birthday, and so they're doing their thing, and banking system, not really. No. Let's get into that. Let's talk about that a little bit. Banking system. I'm going to actually read you something, and JJ sent me this earlier, and I wanted to read this to you. Argentina's central bank lifts rate to 81% as inflation jumps. BCRA seeks to calm the market jitters after days of volatility. Parallel exchange rate sinks to record as dollar demand surges. UK inflation is not just going down as cost of living crisis offers no respite. Okay, gives you an idea. I love the shirt, Spittoon Saloon, guys, and actually I'll show you who we got up here too. Spittoon Saloon, right? Hunt Club, great bar, great owners. Eric and Cody are awesome, very hospitable, and then of course you got the back, right? Some of you guys may know what that is. Some of you may not. But anyway, yeah, if you ever get a chance, get down to West Virginia, check out the Spittoon Saloon. Very hospitable, good people, good price on the drinks. That's all I'll say. So anyway, but yes. Oh yeah, Ronnie, good point. I was actually we're gonna get into the banking thing some more, guys. So hold on. But I wanted to mention this. Asif had shot me a message, and there is the levels where, like, depending on what's going on in the solar system, being able to see the northern lights. Well, if it is a 9 is the highest, doesn't go higher than 9, and they're calling for tonight to be a 7, which means well past me, even down into Virginia, North Carolina, they're going to be able to see the northern lights tonight. So I'm going to tell you right now, I will definitely be going outside to check that out. And hopefully, it's not cloudy tonight. It was pretty clear for the most part today, so I'm hoping that it's clear and to be able to see the northern lights. But it's a lot of solar activity, which is not always a good thing. So just if you get a chance and you get outside, and you are South Carolina north, you should have a really good shot of seeing the if it's clear enough, the northern lights tonight. So that's actually a pretty neat thing. But getting back to the banks situation, um, I don't want to say, because it's like, what do I know? I'm not in banking, right? I don't want to say it's a manufactured crisis, but when you have the printing presses just going nonstop, and they just keep printing money, and so these banks, you know, and realistically, I mean, risky investments, going into things that they shouldn't get the money going into. If you think about it, with the interest that they make, regular banks, credit unions, banks, whatever the case may be, with the interest that they make, uh, it is just, car loans, mortgages, personal loans, you know, any of those type of things. They're making really good money on that. So there's no reason that they should be taking that money and risking it further. You know what I mean? But they do it all the time. They do it all the time. And you know, what this is something I want you to think about as well. And it's really not been talked about a lot. Okay, look at the big box chain stores that are closing. They're closing a lot of locations. Fast food places closing a lot of locations. You've had big layoffs with Amazon. You've had big layoffs with uh, Twitter. You've had big layoffs with Facebook. There is a lot of places that are laying people off. And, supposedly the economy is booming if you listen to the pundits, which I find hard to believe when you're seeing gas prices going higher once again. Never got back to where it was before, right? They topped us out around $5 a gallon here in the U.S. in certain parts. I know on the West Coast they were higher already anyway. Like California is ridiculously high as far as their gas prices go. But down here we got as low as like 319, I think, and now it's starting to go back up. I mean, right now we're at like 369 a gallon for gas here. You look at food prices. Food prices have gone through the roof, and you know, a lot of people are struggling. And with the layoffs, people are getting laid off. What are you going to do? And then you talk, then even go a little bit further. This younger generation, and guys, let me just be real clear on this. I am not saying the entirety of them, but there is a good percentage of this younger generation that doesn't want to work or do hard work. They don't have that um, mentality. They just don't have that mentality. Yeah, and they act like a favor if they drop gas 20 cents. Yeah, I hear you, Don. Yeah, like look at what we're doing for you. Yeah, as you drain the strategic oil reserve, which we need to have. You know, again, I want you guys to remember something. When Trump wanted to buy gas for the strategic oil reserve to get that up there, right, to get that the numbers back up higher, he was blocked by the Democrats. So, and he was trying to buy the gas at 220 a gallon. And what has the president that we have now done? He has been draining the strategic oil reserve. How does that help? What? So it can bring down gas 2 cents a gallon. You know, and then what are they doing with that gas? I mean, think about that too. Who were they selling that gas to? So, um, most kids today are relying on what video to go viral. That's the reason for the riots in Chicago. Well, they want videos to go viral, but what amazes me is when you record your crimes and then wonder why you end up in jail. I mean, I just can't understand that thinking. Look at we just committed this major crime and we did this and we did that, and here I'm putting it out on social media, and then they come and arrest you because they know you did it. They have the evidence because you shared the evidence. It's just the mentality is amazing to me. But there's been a lot of layoffs going on, and no, I don't get the bees till tomorrow. What I did today was I got the beehive set up over there, so when they do come in, that I'll be ready for them. So, like I said, I'm pretty excited about it. Can't wait. It's going to be pretty cool, I think. So we'll see. You know what I mean? We'll just it'll be an interesting thing to watch. Now, here's the other thing with that. I know I'm going to get stung. Um, that's part of the deal. But Rob has said that he would love to step up. One of the guys in my group, Rob, um, you know, and he wants to get in there and get down with the bees and get going with that. So he's not watching this now because he goes to bed early, but he'll see this tomorrow. So, but here's the other thing I want you guys to think about too. And there's been this exodus has been going on for a while, but the pandemic really opened it up even more, I think. When the pandemic happened and New York was really locking everything down, especially New York City, you had anybody that had two nickels that they could rub together were getting out of New York. They were getting out of there, okay? And they were moving because they wanted to be away from all of that stuff. And they wanted to go to a state that was going to be more open, right? But so a lot of money has been leaving like New York State. A lot of money has been leaving New York State, and that's I mean and like I said, and people, I would encourage anybody that's in New York if you're young, get out of there. Just get out of there. But and the mayor is now saying the government is abandoning them. Yeah, and that's what kills me too. I mean, you got this mayor down there. They got rid of one. They bring in another one. They always say, "Oh, we're going to do this and we're going to do that and we're going to change things," and it's not happening. Nothing changes. I mean, changing out, Beetlejuice out of Chicago, and you bring in the next guy. You know, are things going to change? I hope they do. You know, here's the sad part, and I want you to think about this a second. The sad part is this: there's a lot of good people in Chicago and in Illinois. Okay, there's a lot of good people in New York. There's a lot of good people in New York City. But when you have a small amount of people that are committing a ridiculous amount of crimes, and when you have the revolving door system, justice system, like they have now in New York, like they call it the catch and release system, uh, that doesn't make things better for the people that are doing the right thing. The people that are doing the right thing are suffering because of the criminals. And the criminals know they're going to get away with this stuff. They can continue to get away with it. And when you make it harder and harder for people to defend themselves and to take care of their business, it's a nightmare. It is an absolute nightmare. So, oh, excuse me, I don't get it. I really truly don't get it. I don't know why why elect the same type of people over and over and over again and expect things to be different. It just doesn't make any sense to me. The banking system is in disarray. They're having a lot of issues. They're continuing to have issues. When you are seeing, inflation is not looking good. I will put it like that. I mean, that's an understatement. And you got rid of Beetlejuice, and now you bring in Beavis and Butthead. Yeah, it's just it's yeah, it's a definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and over. Well, here's the other part that kills me. Hey, Asif, KP8 alert. Expect northern lights to the Gulf Coast. Oh, there you go. Cool. So it's KP8, not So yeah, it's way down here. I was talking about that a little bit earlier before you jumped on, how people will be able to see the northern lights tonight. Which, like I said, I'm going to get out here and take a look after the live stream and see if I can see them. But criminals will always take care of criminals. Yeah, it's amazing to me. And here's the other thing that's amazing to me. Okay, now you have these people, California. We'll just use California. We'll use California, New York, whatever the case may be. Either one of them. You can use either one as an example. So you have these folks. They've voted the same way forever. Things continue to get worse and worse and worse, and then it gets to a point where they can't take it anymore, so they decide to leave, and they go to a new state, be it Arizona, Texas, Florida, the Carolinas, wherever they're going. Okay. And then they take their voting habits with them and they vote the same way and they expect different results. I mean, our side is good and your side is bad. Both sides suck, guys. I mean, I don't know how many times I got to say this, okay? Both sides are two sides of the same coin. They're two wings of the same bird. At the end of the day, Republican or Democrat, they're going to look out for the special interest groups that got them elected and their rich friends. That's who they're going to look out for. They're not looking out for you and me. They don't care about you and me. They don't. Because if they did, things would change, you know. But Ed, love your channel, long time watcher. Hello from Newfoundland, Canada. Well, thank you, Mar. Glad to have you here, and I appreciate you watching. But anyway, if RFK Jr. gets a Dem nomination, I don't think Trump will win it. And there's another thing with that, I mean, the galvanization of hatred, Ed, you can't run away yourself. No, I'm not saying you can. You can't. You're never going to get away from it, you know. But I don't understand the thinking. That's all I'm saying. I don't understand the thinking. 2 months and I moved to my mountain spot in West Virginia. Can't wait. Cool. Very good. Yeah, and I'm going to tell you what, changing the situation, right? The biggest thing that we can do as individuals, if we don't like something, we can make a change. Politically, you're barking up the wrong tree. I mean, being in New York, nothing's ever going to change because we're outvoted. We're always going to be outvoted in New York. So, you have a choice to make. Do you continue to live in that system that's so messed up and the taxes are so high? I mean, they always wanting to increase taxes all the time. It's just like what I told you guys when, last year, okay? Great example. My assessment of my property doubled last year, doubled. So the property in New York, they now say is worth, XYZ. And so, they tax you accordingly, and it's just like, really? So to me, it's like the reason that I wanted to get it, there's so many reasons I want to get out of New York. I can't even begin to, I could do a laundry list of reasons to get out of New York. But going to a place where it is better for you, I think that it's a good thing. Again, if you're in the cities, guys, I'm going to encourage you, and I will always encourage you, get out of the cities because worst case scenario, when that happens, and I think it's a matter of when, not if, then those cities are death traps. If they cut you off and not let you out, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? So I meant when people run down from other states but don't want to change their thinking. Oh, I got you, Vlad. I got you. Yep. No, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, and they think the same way. They vote the same way. Uh, you know, yeah, it's insanity. It's insanity. So, again, I'm going to continue to encourage everybody. Put yourself in situations that's going to give you the best chance of long-term survival. That's what you got to do. You have to think ahead. You have to plan. If you're not planning ahead, if you're not thinking ahead, when that other shoe drops, you know, will we get to see the first thing? Well, when I put these bees in the beehive, I will be recording that. So you may, you may see the first bees thing. So, um, so if I say a naughty word, um, tomorrow, know that it's not my fault. But no, I'm hoping that it all goes well, and we get the bees in and we get them set up, and I'm really really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. Like I said, it's the next step on the journey to independence. To be a viable area where we are self-sufficient. Yeah, I will be wearing heavy clothes. Yep, I will definitely be wearing. I already got the gloves. I showed you the gloves other day. I think where did I put them? Hold on, I'll show you. I'll show you the gloves again. So I'll probably have a heavy flannel on, and then these are the gloves, okay? And they got these elastic part here. So if I put this on here, I'll put one of them on and I'll show you. So when you're working with the bees, I'm definitely going to have the gloves on, okay? And these go right up to my elbow, as you can see here, okay? The bees are not going to be able to sting through that, which is good. The reason it's got the elastic on the elbows because the bees are looking to get in. We don't want them to get in. So I don't have the suit yet. I am going to be getting one of the suits. He said to me when I talked to him yesterday that he may let me borrow a suit with the helmet on it. So I may do that. But yeah, I'm like I said, I definitely want to be safe. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for is that they're going to let me borrow that part, get the bees settled, get them in, and then once they're in, then I would take that back to them. So that's kind of and then they're ordering me the jacket and the helmets comes together. So like you put it over your head and you put your like that. So, but yeah, so I'm like I said, I will have it on video. I'll show you guys on video. I'm hoping I don't get stung, but we will see. But I will be layered up pretty good. I will make sure I do that. And but anyway, it's the goal that I'm trying to do here is over time is get this property to be self-sufficient, meaning we're growing the majority of the crops that we're going to eat. Okay, we're growing the majority of the livestock that we're going to process, eat, with chickens with eggs, and and have meat goats, have milking goats, all those type of things, meat rabbits. And no, I'm not allergic. No, I'm not, Don. Been stung many times, many times. Wasps are the worst. Those freaking snotty, nasty things, because that'll hurt for days. So, um, but anyway, so yeah, just don't play music with by Sting when you play the bees. That's funny. But yeah, it's just like I said, it's getting the bees is the next step. Being able to produce our own honey, I think is going to be very, very cool. And and we'll see how that all works out. But I'm like I said, overall, everything that we get done before SHTF happens, that's a bonus. Uh, when SHTF happens, we will deal with the situation then. Hopefully, we're in a fairly decent place at that point in time. And each month that we get, each day that we get, is going to put us in a better situation to deal with whatever we need to deal with. So, yeah, don't swat at them. Yeah, no, if I have the head cover and stuff on, I'm not going to worry about that. But yeah, no, ground wasp are the definite worst because they'll continue to chase you. They will chase you. Yeah. So once that, yeah, they're not fun. So all right. So anyway, um, you know, what are we at? 543 in the chat. We're at 238 on the thumbs up. Again, guys, if you have not started shooting a thumbs up yet, I would actually appreciate you doing so to show support for the channel. Again, it really does make a big difference with the algorithms. So I thank you for that as well. Also, again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. But no, but anyway, it's just there's a lot of things, guys, going on. The banking system is, not good. When and they say, well, it was just this bank and it was just that bank. But when you're talking about these banks and you're talking about not millions of dollars, you're talking about billions of dollars. And when the other big banks are trying to prop up other banks by insurging, $1 billion here, $1 billion there into those company or other banks to keep them above water. When you have big investors are saying, nope, it's time to get out of that banking system and get their money out, that's not a good thing. When will the banks tell us to turn on our dollars for digital credits or turn in our dollars? Yeah, I think that they're going to run into, and this is just strictly my opinion, okay? Trying to go to a digital dollar here in the United States, I think they're going to run into a lot of problems. A lot of people are not going to be happy about that. And it really is going to depend on what people do. I mean, if they do they complain and piss and moan and then just deal with it? Or do they go, no, I'm not doing it? You know what I mean? So, but I think you're going to see more bank failures. And I think what's going to be a big part of that, and I want you guys to think, again, I know I want you to think about this. I want you to think about that. But it's just A lot of things are very important. Look at again all the people, right? All the COVID money is gone now, right? They're not giving out any more free money. So that money's not there anymore to help stimulate the economy, to prop up things when they shouldn't be propped up. So you have a lot of people didn't pay their mortgages through the course of the pandemic because they could get away with it. A lot of people did not pay their rent because they could get away with it. So they were living in houses and they were living in apartments for up to like 2+ years and not paying any rent or mortgages at all. Banks are propping up their banks to hide the underlying mess, won't let the FDIC come in and investigate each bank failure. What lies beneath is scary. Yeah, that's thank you for that statement, Asif, and thank you very much for the donation as well. And it is scary. It's scary. There is there's always going to be corruption. There's always going to be greed. There's always going to be theft. Just because somebody is a big important person doesn't mean that they're immune to getting sticky fingers. It happens all the time. But when you are looking at everything overall, when you look at the system overall, when people are unable to pay their mortgages because everything else has gotten so expensive, they're walking away from homes or whatever they have to do because they can't do it anymore. You can only do so much. There's only so much any of us can do. And when you get to that breaking point, something has to give. That's just the way it goes. Something has to give. And so, what do you do? What do you do at that point? And so, and that's where you have these mega rich people come in. Like people talk about BlackRock, right? BlackRock comes in, they're buying up all these properties. Well, somebody's funding that behind the scene. Somebody is the money man for that, and they get good properties at depressed prices. And why would fragile banks prop up other failing banks? Follow the money. Good point. You know, a used car now with over 100,000 miles are at 20,000 or more. And there's another thing. Let's look at that. Let's look at that. Okay. Um, when you have your car or truck payment is more than a mortgage payment, it's like another mortgage payment. And as soon as you drive that vehicle off the lot, if you bought it brand new, it depreciates instantly. It appreciates instantly. So I mean, it's scary. It's scary, and and people just like I said, they don't get it. They don't want to see it. They want to pretend it's not happening. That everything is fine and everything's going to be wonderful, but that's not reality. That's not reality. And at some point, it's all going to come to a head. You know, again, when you have a camel, right? You got the camel, and you start putting a one piece of straw on that camel at a time. Eventually, that camel's going to collapse because it can't take any more of that weight. That's where we're at right now. That's where we're at now. Uh, People are overextended. They've lived off credit cards because they had to. They didn't have any other options, and so now they can't pay the credit cards. Uh, what do you do? You know what I mean? And the credit card companies, the banks, they write that debt all off. They don't lose. Trust me, they don't lose. They don't ever lose. So, that's why you're paying ridiculous interest rates. Again, think about that. Let's just think about that alone. 2008 banking crisis, right? Let's go back to that. When you had the banks with the credit card companies, and if you had good credit, you were paying, I was getting cards for 4% interest, getting the offers, and you flip over that debt onto this one. You don't pay any interest for 6 months, and you just play that game, right? And you can let a lot of stuff float for quite a while. And but then when they came in and they decided, and they had the banking crisis again back in 2008, what did they do? They took everybody's interest rate and made them absolutely astronomical. So now, like if you went to go get a credit card now, if you're lucky enough that you have decent credit, you might get 15% for, your interest rate on those cards. I mean, and that's if you have good credit. If you got bad credit, you're looking at, you know, you're looking at what, 28, 29%. I mean, is that even legal? I don't think loan sharks charge that much. So, again, you know, how do people do it? How are they keeping their heads above water when, everything else has gone up exponentially? Everything goes up except for your rate of pay. That's what happens. Everything goes up except for your rate of pay. So, um, excuse me. Uh, oh, I want to let me before I forget about it because we're already 40 minutes into the stream. With the egg count tonight, we're going to be giving away another book by R.E. Gold. Okay, the Pocket Guide to Finding Silver, 925 Thrift. So that we're going to be giving away with the egg count tonight. So I want to put that out there ahead of time, and thank you to R.E. Gold for donating those to do that. And I should have mentioned it right in the beginning. I keep forgetting, and I like now's when I remember. Now's when I remember. So, awesome sauce. You have to pool your resources if possible. Well, you know what? Back in the day, and even okay. So I'll give you another good example of this. Okay, you have the Koreans will come over here. You have the Chinese will come over here. They will, and I'm just going to use those two as an example. They will come over here. They will all live in the same house, families, cousins, brothers, sisters, the whole bunch of them. They'll get a house. They'll all live in the same house. They're working all together. Like if they have a Chinese restaurant, for an example, they'll work 16 hours a day in the restaurant. They save their money. They pay that mortgage off super, super quick. And then what they do is they go out and they buy the second house. And very quickly, they have a decent amount of wealth because they're willing to work as a family. They're willing to work as a family. And, that's how you get ahead now. But we Americans have been programmed that we got to do it on our own. So you're 18, get out of the house, go live your life, get married, have kids, get the big house and two cars and all the toys and amenities and be in debt for the rest of your life because now you have to be a slave to your job forever and ever and ever, and you never get ahead. That's what the system is now. That's how the system works, right? But if we could break that and come together and work together and families come back together, or it doesn't even have to be blood. As long as it's people that you trust and that you care about and you have a mutual respect for, working together in getting things done. It's just like, I saw this comment again, and I did want to address this, and I have to laugh whenever I hear these things. What we're doing down here, I got an awesome group of people. I've talked about this a million times, and I'm going to continue to talk about it because I think it's really important and it shows that it can be done. Okay. So you get these strangers that you've never met before, and you come together and you decide this is what we're going to work on. This is what we're going to do. We're going to work together on this, and we're going to make this happen. And that's what we're doing down here. And so, on a different scale, it's a prepping scale, but we're showing that this is something that's possible. I'm going to tell you what, I can't wait till we get to a point where we have 5, 6 greenhouses, right? And everybody comes down, and now it's harvest time, and everybody's harvesting, and we're canning, and we're doing all this, and we're doing all that. And then everybody gets to take some of the proceeds of that to their main home. We'll probably have enough here stocked up to be able to deal with what we need to deal with, but to be able to do that is awesome. So I had somebody ask me the other day in a comment, "What is this, a commune?" No, it's not a commune. We're not a commune. I actually had somebody today in a video today, and they're like, again with this question, and I thank you all of you that jumped in and defended me. I do appreciate this. Um, so when I was putting the beehive together and showing that on the video, of course, there's why do you have to carry a gun, right? Well, first of all, let me just yeah, we're a cult. All right, we're not a commune, we're a cult. That's right. Let's get that straight. Oh, that's too funny. Um, so first of all, the overall consensus answer is because it is my God-given right and I can do it. Okay, that's why I can carry a gun, is because I can. I can carry a gun. That's why I carry a gun. The second answer And I've explained this before, so I will explain this again. The reason that I carry a gun and I'm out in the middle of the woods, right? Well, my God, well, why do you need a gun out there? You're on your own property. First of all, I am not the apex predator in those woods. All right. We have bear. There are big cats down here. Okay. Those things can kill you. All right. And so we have coyotes, everything else as well. We also have snakes, right? We have snakes that can kill you down here. And, and if there's a two-legged person come on the property with bad intentions, what am I going to do if I'm standing there with just my hat in my hand? So, it's a deterrent for four-legged creatures and for two-legged creatures. Now, the four-legged creatures are going to find out the hard way. Two-legged creatures that watch this channel and think they're going to come down here and act stupid, they probably should think twice about that, because not only do I have it on me, I know how to use it, and I am not afraid to use it. So, and that's not being a tough guy. That's not being a tough guy at all. That's just being prepared. It's a tool. That's what it is at the end of the day, folks. It's a tool. It has a purpose, and that's why I carry it. I will continue to carry it because I can. So if you don't like it, that is a you problem. That is not a me problem. So, but yeah, tools don't work if you don't have them. Hey, Jeremy Bonds, remember when I said last year that all these countries are going to start ditching the U.S. dollar depending on how this collapse unfolds? Hyperinflation might be the only way out of this. I can't disagree with you on that. It's a good point. Thank you for the statement. Thank you very much for the donation as well. I do appreciate that. All right, so we're going to pause on that point because we are actually past time already. Again, we're going to be doing egg count. Not till I say, don't put your answers up until I say. We're giving away this book tonight. Okay. So the winner of the egg count is going to win this book by R.E. Gold. It is the Pocket Guide to Finding Silver, 925 Thrift. Okay. And trying to read that backwards on the screen is actually bizarre. But that's what we're going to be giving away. So, how many eggs today? And how many, or yes or no for Miss Thickneck? So go ahead and put your guesses on there, and we will go from there. Okay, give you guys a minute. And I'm going to get a hit of this nice green tea. I think that's my first drink of the stream. Wasn't even thinking about it. All right. If you had the same exact guess as Pennsylvania Granny with 7 eggs and no for Miss Thickneck, then you are 100% correct. So congratulations to Pennsylvania Granny. She is the winner tonight. So she just won 925 Thrift, the Pocket Guide to Finding Silver by R.E. Gold. So you're going to have to shoot me an email, Pennsylvania Granny. Give me your address, and I will get that out to you at some point. I'm still haven't got any of the other books out, guys. I've been very, very busy. And so at some point, I promise I will make it a point to just go to the post office and get them out. So congratulations to Pennsylvania Granny. See, and I like that name too. So that's a good name. But uh, is that her second win? Granny, did you win one before? Because I'm for some reason I'm thinking you've won before. No, if you look back, you'll see that she was the first one with the correct answer. I don't know if she's won a book before or not. Oh, she did win before, but no book. Okay, JJ. All right. All right. Oh, that's good. Well, then I'm glad she won the book. So, anyway, egg count was 7 eggs with no Miss Thickneck today. Okay, so uh, we have a banking crisis, not just here in the United States, but around the world as well. A lot of issues with other banks around the world. I mean, you go and you look at what's happened over. Um, was it Greece was having huge problems before? Um, Ed, you never know if you will run into a crypto too. A Krypton Mountains notorious. I don't know what you mean by that, Andrea. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Yeah, the egg count is from the chickens in New York. Once I get chickens down here, which I do want to do as well, we will end up, once they start laying, then we will be doing egg counts for probably both. That would be kind of neat. Aaron's vids too. Do you teach your videos what Bitcoin is? If not, why? Okay, good question. And no, I don't. I don't support Bitcoin, and I won't support Bitcoin, and I will tell you why. It's backed by nothing. Once again, okay, it's backed by nothing. So that is why I will never be involved with Bitcoin. Uh, I believe, again, and I've talked about this before, guys, and I'll mention it again. I believe in tangible goods. Uh, Things that I can put my hands on. I can put my hands on this can of green tea, right? If I have 200 cans of green tea, just as an example, SHTF happens, and my neighbor down the road loves green tea. Loves green tea. They're out of green tea. Who are they going to come to get green tea? They're going to come to me, right? And that's just an example. I mean, there could be any number of things that you would want to do that way. It is, you have to, tangible goods you can touch, you can feel, you have them, they're there, they retain value. Crypto, you've seen how crypto has went way up, and people were thinking, oh my God, I got to get into this and I got to get money into it. And a lot of people lost their shirts in it. Never appealed to me in any way, shape, or form. And maybe I'm old school. No, Hella's new boyfriend did not visit yet. I gotta. She's almost done with her cycle too, so I gotta get her up there and see if we can't get them together. Like I said, I've just been really super busy with other things, and so that's yeah, crypto exactly. Okie Ford said crypto always seemed like a Ponzi scheme to me. Same type of thing. I did not trust it. Don't trust it. Still don't trust it. Will never invest in it. Would never encourage any of you to invest in it. Again, I would rather have you have, uh, you know, 2 weeks of freeze dried food, because at least you know that you could have, and it's going to be there in 30 years from now. It's still going to be usable. So, that's why I believe, like I said, tangible goods, things that you can use, things that are going to retain value. Buy a shovel, right? If nobody else has a shovel and you got a shovel, that's worth its weight in gold. Again, having food is going to be worth its weight in gold. People, again, gold and silver, can you eat them? So if I got a big old pile of gold and I've been saving, and oh my God, I got all this gold, and SHTF happens, what is it worth? What's it worth? Right? It's a yellow metal. And just because they say it has value, I can't eat it. It doesn't keep me fed. It doesn't keep me warm. It doesn't help me to get power. It doesn't help me to have clean drinking water. So to me, if I have way to filter water, I can stay warm with a wood stove. I can, feed myself and all those type of things. That's worth more to me than any of those other things. If I can, get the greenhouses in here, and it extends my season earlier in the year and later in the year. I mean, that's just another bonus. So, those are things you got to think about. And that to me, um, you know, what backs gold? Yeah, well, there you go. And again, if we get into a true SHTF situation, what are you going to do then? You know what I mean? So those are things, like I said, again, that I think about. Asa said 7.3 earthquake near New Zealand area. Wow, that's not good. That's a big time earthquake. Yeah, you look at these different events, weather related, and I love the terminology. Oh my God, I love the terminology. Everything is climate change. It's all climate change. Well, let me let you in on a little secret, okay? Climate's been changing, always has, and it always will. We're going to go through warm periods on the planet, and we're going to go through cold periods on the planet. Uh, is us having cow farts going to change all that? I don't see how that's a big factor. A lot of pollutants, right? With the pollutants and the stuff that these big companies dump into the ocean, all the garbage that's dumped into the ocean, I think that has an impact on stuff. And I want you to think about, again, something else to think about, right? Here's a funny concept. Let's think about this one. The amount of food that we get from the oceans that people eat, right? So, they're trying to regulate, with the crabs and, lobster and all that type of stuff. You're only allowed to catch certain types and those type of things, which is, and that's because you want the population to continue to grow. You want them to be, to continue to get bigger. What effect do you think that Fukushima to this day is having on the environment with the oceans, with all the radioactive water and all that type of stuff going on there? What effect do you think that's having? Do you think it's a positive effect? Do you think that there might be, the tuna that swims over by, Japan and then comes over and gets caught off of the West Coast, and we turn that into, tuna fish, right? Do you think that might be having an effect on stuff and all that radiation and all that stuff might be getting into the fish? I wonder if that is. I wonder if that is. I wonder if Fukushima is poisoning the ocean. These are just questions. I'm a curious individual. I have questions, right? Do you hear about it? Do you hear about it in the news? There's a question, right? Fukushima, big headline, still continues to be a problem. What's being done about it? And I love tuna fish too. I love tuna fish. I'm not going to lie. I love tuna fish. If you can raise your own crops, your own animals, butcher them, and all that type of thing, you know where that process came from. You know what's happening. You know where that food is being, is coming from. So you know that you're getting something that hasn't been injected with a bunch of hormones to make it bigger. You ever wonder? And again, like I said, I'm all full of curiosity questions. Here's another curiosity question. You ever wonder why the kids today are developing so early when they never did when we were kids? Did you see girls that were 11, 12 years old? Now, occasionally you did, right? That looked like they were 20, not very often. But these young girls today, they're developing quite vigorously at a very young age. Do you think that might have to do with the hormones that are being put into some of the food? Yeah, growth hormones in the livestock. I wonder. It's a question. I'm not saying that it is. I'm not saying that it's not. So I don't want to be accused of, well, he said that this is causing this. This is not what I'm saying. It's just a question, you know. I was an early bloomer. Oh, and they're out there, Dawn. Yes, there are definitely girls out there that develop very, very early. But there is also, like I said, the question is, do you think that the hormones and stuff that they are putting into livestock, we know that they're putting it into livestock, is having an effect on our children? Do you believe that it is? That's just a question. At I looked 14 at 10. Sonia said, "Yeah, I've seen some of these girls that throw a little makeup on them. They're like 12, 13 years old, and they look like they're 20. Scary, scary." Because gentlemen, that can, if you're a young man and you're 18, 19, 20, that can get you in trouble in a hurry. That can get you in trouble in a hurry. So, or is the mRNA in our food already? That's another good question. I don't know the answer to that question. That's a good question, though. We're just getting older, 80K man. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. But it's funny. As you get older, uh, number one, my tolerance for BS is just not there. I never had a long fuse for tolerance for BS in the first place, but as I get older, it you know it's just not there. I just don't have the patience for stupidity. I watch some of these things and I go, what is going on with these freaking people? I just I don't get it. I do not get it. Another weird thing is time is speeding up. It seems as you get older, Jeremy, that time goes faster. It does seem that way. You got to look at it. Here we are right now. We are at the end of April already, and I go, wow, that was quick. Next month's going to be May already. So yes, the older I get, the less filters I have. Ron just said. I agree. I agree. Here's the beauty though. Here's the beauty, guys. And I've used this. I've used this line. I said, at my age, the fear of life in prison is not a deterrent. You know what I mean? That's not a deterrent anymore. You know, oh my God, you mean you're going to have to take care of me when I'm old and and I'm having problems? So not looking to do that though. I like my freedom. I like my peace. I love being in nature, and that's the other thing. I just as I've gotten older, I wanted to be away from the chaos, and that's what I like about being here. You know what I mean? Andrea said I looked pre-20 at age 12. Yeah, that's scary. Hey, Mr. Rose, I feel like an electric car that doesn't charge while driving up is a joke. Money, money, plug in here. Yeah, it's this whole push. And again, that's what the agenda is with this administration, and we know that. Thank you very much for the statement, and thank you very much for the donation as well. We know what the push of this administration is. They've been very clear from day one. It's not like any of it's a surprise. So when people act like, "Oh, I can't believe they're doing this," and "I can't believe they're doing that," well, you voted them in. So what did you expect? Remember the thing, what the mantra? You guys remember the mantra? Anybody but Trump. Remember that? Well, congratulations, you get what you pay for. So, all right, let us move on here. All right, we're gonna do shout outs. I just looked up and I went, okay, I'm late again. Imagine that. I know it's shocking. What do we have? 472 in the chat. We're at 317 on the thumbs up. Again, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do that to show support for the channel, and I do appreciate that. Also, it really does make a big, big difference with the algorithms. So the more interaction, the better. So again, if you haven't shot that thumbs up yet, I would ask you to do it for that reason. Again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell icon to get all notifications as well. All right, so number one, we have Icky Can up in Canada, living off grid up there. He had called me. I'll give you a little information on him real quick. He had called me, shot me an email, gave me his phone number. I called him, and after we had moved off grid, it might have been 2 years after we moved off grid. It could have been maybe a year after. He called me up and he said, "You inspired me. I'm moving off grid." And he moved up. I believe he's like 3 hours north of Toronto, so he is in northern Canada. Okay, so he's well up there, and he's been doing his thing up there for a while now, and really proud of him. So I would ask you to please support him. You have Angry Prepper, and that's Jason in New York City. You have Alaska Prepper, who is Rudy, another good guy up in Alaska. There is Alaska Granny. You have Sean James and My Self Reliance, two different channels, same guy, building up in Canada, doing his homestead up there. Really interesting to watch. Really good builder. Unbelievable the way he builds. So definitely fun to watch him as well. You have Demcad, and he's a good guy as well. There is Corporal's Corner, Bjorn Hansen. You have 80K Man up in the Adirondacks. There is Bizarizza Jizza, who does the Carrington Chronicles. It's a really good story. I would encourage you to listen to that. A lot of good information in that story. You have Marfugal News out on the West Coast with Adam and Dax. Really, really good guys. So definitely check them out as well. There is Magic Prepper in North Dakota. You have Wrangle Star, and that is Cody, another good guy. Definitely check his channel out as well. Red Poppy Ranch, there is Survival Lily. You have Kyle's Cabin with Kyle and Sierra up in Minnesota. Nice young couple up there. Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods, husband and wife team, two different channels, really good people. They split their time between Michigan and Alaska. Let's see, we have Green Greg's. He is really good with gardening stuff, so definitely check him out for that. Good tips with that. Southern Prepper One, he has the Boots on the Ground series, a lot of good information with that as well. And he has been amping up his prepping big time as well. You have Gray Man Prepping. There is, let's see, St. Bernard Acres with Joe. You have Doug and Stacy. Doug and Stacy have been around a long time. Another good channel to get information from. The Nomadic Movement. They are down in Panama. Nice couple down there. Just had a little girl, and they are doing their thing down in Panama. There is the Green Dream Project. They are out in Arizona doing living off grid in Arizona desert. So it's fun to watch what they're doing as well. There's Camping with Steve Wallace. He is up in Canada, does stealth camping. A lot of fun to watch him. A lot of good videos. Real good guy. Bush Doctor Survival. There's Monkey Works. You have the Needy Homesteader. She's been around a long time. Got a lot of good canning tips and cooking and videos like that. So definitely check her out. You have Boss of the Swamp. Again, he's been around for a long time. Another really good channel. A lot of good information. Another great builder. Let's see, where am I? You have Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Diamond's a very smart guy. He'll give you all the information about the Grand Solar Minimum. So definitely you should check that out. Let's see. We have Patera with the Appalachian Homestead. There is City Prepper. You have Lumina Acres. Suspicious Observer gives you all the information of what's going on out there with the sun and everything else. Really, really interesting to watch his channel. You have Bear Independent, the Uneducated Economist. There is Bushcraft Bear in the Canary Islands of La Palma. There is Mary Greeley News. She has all the information with Yellowstone, the earthquakes, what's going on. Definitely like her as well. There's Adapt 2030. You have Malachi's Corner. There is Ice Age Farmer. If you're going to get your weather, there's only one guy to get your weather from, and that is Ryan Hall. Ryan Hall, y'all. Definitely check him out. Great guy, gives back to the community in a huge, huge way. You have Deep South Homestead, another really down to earth channel. A lot of good information on their channel. You have The Outsider. There is The Fit Farmer. You have Prep Rebel, sorry. Simple Life Reclaimed. There is Townsend's. You have The Prepared Mind, formerly of California. Pinball Preparedness down in Tennessee. There's East Tennessee Preparedness, The Economic Ninja, and last but not least, Little House Off Gritty, another good channel. They are also in Tennessee. So a lot of good information out there. I believe that, again, we should be supporting each other. We should be looking at different channels. I know you guys have other channels that you put into the chat, which is good, and that's fine. But a lot of good information out there. We should be looking at different people's perspectives, just because nobody's going to have the same perspective. You know, I know people have asked me, and I've been very clear on this. You know, keeping your money in the bank. If the bank's closed tomorrow and you can't get your money out, what are you going to do? If the power goes out tomorrow and you can't get your money out of the bank, what are you going to do? I don't believe in keeping a tremendous amount of money in the bank. I would rather take that money and, again, put it into tangible goods. So that's what I do with my money. I put it into things that are going to be things that I'm going to need, that are going to be beneficial for me and my group when the time comes. And I think that's the best way. And that's just my opinion. You can do whatever you want to do. That's the beauty of this planet in this world. It is free will. You can do whatever you want to do. So, but Yeah, so that is, that's your choice. But I keep enough money in the bank to pay the bills that got to be paid. The rest goes out, and gets put where it needs to be put. I don't sit on a big pile of cash because, again, it's paper, folks. It's backed by nothing. Remember that. And so when the system collapses, that money's going to be good for a couple of days. But after that, people are going to realize that it ain't worth squat and it's not going to be worth nothing but starting fires with. Okay. So that's something to think about. Yeah, I put the money into the driveway stone. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, we have definitely put a lot of money into the driveway. A lot of money into the driveway, but it had to be done. Unfortunately, I would rather have taken that money and putting into other projects, which would have been great, but that's not reality. The reality is we got to be able to get in and out of here, and that's right now the most important thing. We got to be able to get in and out. So, but you know, found a USN silver platter at a thrift store. Oh, that's very cool. Yeah, when you can get finds like that, I'm going to tell you what I love being able to. I'm telling you, what, garage sales are awesome. Once in a while you can get a good find at a thrift store. Secondhand stores. When you have the Salvation Army stores, a lot of times like that, people are getting rid of stuff that they don't realize that it's worth something, and they put it out there, and you can pick up some really good deals with that. And yeah, older silver coins. That I like those. I have those. I think it's important to have those. So, but yeah, it's just it's all about what's your priority. What do you want to do? What do you think? I will tell you this: when we all die, we're going to go to the same into the ground with the same amount of money as John D. Rockefeller, right? What did he take with him? Nothing, right? So all the money in the world, you ain't taking it with you. So I do believe that you should enjoy your life. You should have fun. Uh, you know, and the thing is, I want you to think about this as well. Okay, so people have this misconception with people like myself. Um, yeah, this shirt needs to say Stone Man. Yeah, exactly. That's funny. Uh, that I'm spending all my time preparing for the end of the world and I'm not enjoying life. I've traveled all over this country, folks. I've been everywhere. I've seen. I mean, there's more places I want to go, obviously, but I've seen a lot, and it's fun, and I've had a really fun life, and I've enjoyed my life, and I think that that's important to see different things. I know some people they grow up in one area, they never go anywhere. They live their entire life and they've never been anywhere. And I'm like, man, we have a beautiful, beautiful country, huge country, and there's so many people to see and so many places that are amazing to see. Um, you know, the Grand Canyon is a good example. That's definitely something that you should see. Uh, Niagara Falls would be another one that I think that it's important that people see that and see that majestic and that beauty. Devil's Tower in Wyoming. That was really incredible to see. Doing the different things and going to the different parks that are out there in any state that you go into, and to be able to do different things. I just think that that is amazing. And, if you can do it and if you can get around and do it while you're young, if you're young, get out there, travel. Because, I couldn't tell you how many times I've taken care of people, and the things that they said is, well, I was going to wait till I got older, and we were going to travel, and we were going to do this and that, and then my wife got sick, or I got sick, and all the money went to take care of their care, you know, and Medicaid and all that's not going to kick in until you've spent all your money. So I'm going to enjoy my life. And I'm going to do the things that I want to do. I'm going to see the things that I want to see, and there's more that I want to do yet, and I'm going to continue to do that. So, anyway, guys, we are Legion because we are many. We are all over the world. We're all over the country. Where is everybody from tonight? Looking for places around me that I've never been to this summer, and that's a cool thing to do. Yep, that is a cool thing to do. So we have Franklin County, Ohio. We have Luke in Georgia, Ulster Park, New York, Inverness, Florida, with Clyde in the house. Syracuse, New York with Steve. Dayton, Ohio. Waterloo, New York. Connecticut. BC, Canada with Emil. Vancouver Island with Prep Rebel. Scott County, Virginia. Ontario, Canada with David. We have Avoca, New York with Global Impact. Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Nowhere, Oklahoma with Okie Forge. Leesburg, Florida with Joan. Tucson, Arizona with Angela. Missouri in the Ozarks with Delbert. East Central Illinois with Lana. Troutman, North Carolina with Troy. The beautiful Pennsylvania Wilds with Pennsyltucky Granny. Hillsboro, Oregon. Excuse me. We have Hollywood, Florida with Donna. Morning Light in West Virginia. Sean from Nebraska. Western New York with Karen. Greenlee County, Arizona with Codster. Upper Michigan, the UP with Dawn. Long Island, New York with Holly Ann. Fort Worth, Texas with Sonia. Salem, Oregon with Ma Bear. Southeast Michigan with Randy. Mushka County, Iowa with Brian. We have Columbia, South Carolina with Jess. OKC, Oklahoma City in Oklahoma with Dylan. Let's see. Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia. Newfoundland, Canada with Mar, I'm sorry. Wisconsin with Janet. Northern Michigan with Jason. We have Utah with Off Grid Power. Northwest Indiana with Gary. Sin City, Nevada. Las Vegas. Very nice. West Central Ohio. We have Rhode Island with Sissy. Wheeling, West Virginia with St. Bernard Acres. There's Joe. Joe is in the house. We have Central Iowa with Robert. Melbourne, Australia. Oh, I'm sorry, I said it wrong. What did I? It's not St. Bernard Acres, and it's Beagle Acres. Sorry, my mistake. Just messing with you, Joe. Um, we have Central Iowa with Robert. Melbourne, Florida with Andrea. Omaha, Nebraska with Larry. We have Central New York with Village Homestead. So again, guys, all over the country, all over the world, we're a huge, huge network of people. We are huge. If we could ever come together, the amount of power that we have is amazing. Southern South Carolina with KP. So again, we're the ones that are awake. We're the ones that can make a difference. I think we should try to make that difference if we can. I think it's important that we do. We have Teresa in the UP of Michigan as well. Pipestem, West Virginia with Troy. So, again, lot that we can do. Networking is a good thing. Connecting with other like-minded people is important. I really think it's hugely important, and we just got to try to do the best we can, guys. Because I'm telling you, I don't make a prediction of when it's going to happen, but when that other shoe drops, it is going to be a nightmare. It's going to be a nightmare, plain and simple. And we're the ones that are going to be in better shape than most, but it's going to be tough for everybody. I want to thank my moderators who do a fantastic job keeping the chat clean. Very much appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen, that moderate for me. Means a lot to me. I like to be able to try to focus on talking and not have to deal with stupidity in the chat. A lot of good questions always in the chat with the rest of you guys, so I appreciate all of you that come in here and support the channel, asking different questions, and that's cool as well. So I thank you guys for the support through all these years. I've been doing this for a long time now. It's amazing how fast the time flies. I want you to remember, folks, and this is important. I keep saying that. I don't know why. We truly are all in this together. We are one race called the human race. As soon as we can figure that one out, we really will be in much, much better shape. We have to stop letting them divide us. They use race, they use religion, they use political affiliation. It's all nonsense. It means nothing. Because at the end of the day, when the lights go out for the last time and are not coming back on, nobody's going to care what religion you are. Nobody's going to care what race you are. Nobody's going to care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. We're all going to be in the same boat. We're all going to be in the same boat. And it's what we do at that point in time that separates us. So remember that. Also remember to hug and kiss the ones that you love. tell them every single day, tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really, really important that we tell the people that we care about every day how we feel. Last but not least, STD, step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you were trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, doesn't have to be about prepping. It doesn't have to be about living off grid. It's whatever your dreams are, whatever your hopes are. If you follow your dreams, you set realistic goals, you can accomplish them. And the only person that's going to stop you from getting there is you. That's it. Nobody else. Stay prepped. Stay ready. Keep getting ready, guys. I don't have a good feeling about what's coming. So just keep doing what you can. All right. Have a great night. I will talk to you all later. Prepper Nurse One out for now.